이 위대한 구원. 크로스포인트 주니어 처치에서 전해드리는 이 시간, 담당의 Darin Pantley 형제입니다.
Hello, this is Darin Pantley from Crosspoint Bible Church. Many years ago, when Nehemiah returned to the land of his people, Jerusalem was in ruins. And that's why he came back. He was a man on a mission. He wanted to rebuild the wall around Jerusalem because he had a vision for what could be. He didn't just see ruins and rubble. The walls could be rebuilt. The gates could be repaired. The city could be restored to its former glory. The people back then were just like we are today. They were looking around, wondering, who is going to lead us out of this mess? So imagine their surprise when Nehemiah showed up. Finally, a leader, someone with a plan. And so they got to work. This worried the neighboring governors. They were very much disturbed that someone had come to promote the welfare of the Israelites. At the start of any ambitious project like this, people have big expectations. They imagine tough challenges can be overcome. For the neighbors, this was a worrying thought, but for the Israelites, it was exciting. I once worked for a company that launched a grand project like this. We had many crusty old computer systems that were past their prime. It wasn't just the physical computers that were old. The software running on them was old too. Everything was so slow. And sometimes the computers wouldn't process a customer's order properly. We needed to do a massive overhaul to modernize everything, because the problems were impacting the business and making customers unhappy. So a leader stepped up and got everyone organized, and then the work began. How do you think these stories end? Did the Israelites succeed in building the wall around Jerusalem? What about the computer company? Did we succeed in renewing those computer systems? Logically speaking, there's a lot to consider when you try to estimate the chances of success. You might say, who's leading the project? Have they succeeded in completing any large projects before? And who's doing the actual work? Are they skilled and experienced too? Do we have enough people, enough money, enough resources? How much time will they have to complete the project? Does everyone believe in the mission? Unfortunately, the computer project failed. They tried to do it again with different people, but that failed too. Now they're hoping if they try a third time, they'll finally succeed in modernizing those computers. Now, what about Nehemiah? How did his project go? He didn't create a spreadsheet and try to estimate the chances of success. Instead, he prayed. Remember the instruction you gave your servant Moses, saying, "If you are unfaithful, I will scatter you among the nations. But if you return to me and obey my commands, then even if your exiled people are at the farthest horizon, I will gather them from there and bring them to the place I have chosen as a dwelling for my name." Sometimes we look at a situation and think, maybe it will end well, or maybe it won't. But Nehemiah saw things differently. He knew that God keeps his promises. This wasn't a game of chance. He simply needed to believe and act on that belief through his actions to see the promised outcome. Which of God's promises are you standing on today?
지금까지 크로스포인트 주니어 처치에서 전해드렸습니다. 언어와 문화의 장벽을 없애고 실시간 동시 통역이 제공되는 크로스포인트 주니어 처치의 주일 예배 시간은 오전 11시이며 교회에 대한 안내는 847-212-6775로 문의해 주시길 바랍니다.